Hey you guys, welcome to Mix It in the Kitchen with Adrienne Taylor. So today we're making a white chicken chili. Our first step is to cut up our green bell peppers and we're gonna dice them. I did like just a regular dice. It was not, a certain size or anything. I just did a rough dice. Then we're gonna do our red pepper and then our onion. If you don't know how to cut an onion, pay close attention because I just showed you. Next, we're gonna melt our butter so we can start getting this chili going. You can use oil if you like, but I think that butter has a better flavor, especially because our chili is going to be a tad creamy. So you want to just have a butter base instead of an oil base. Mo butter, mo better. You feel me? Next, we're going to add our peppers. So I mixed them all together, the red and green, and we're going to let these cook down till they're a little translucent and tender. Add our white onion and half the onion. As you can add anything, I just left some in the bowl. You can save that for whatever your heart desires. Let that cook down a little bit until it's soft. Who wants crunchy onions and peppers, right? Nobody. And it really gets the flavors there too. Now we're gonna add our diced chicken. I buy my chicken already diced at the supermarket. If you don't have that at your local supermarket, dice it yourself. Buy chicken breast, thighs, whatever you like, and dice it up and throw it in there. Now we're gonna go for our seasoning. So first, we're gonna do salt. I eyeball everything when it comes to cooking, so I don't have a specific amount that you can do, but a few shakes of a lamb's tail and you got some flavors. That's some cumin. After our cumin, we're going to add our garlic powder. You can use granulated garlic or you can use minced garlic. Minced garlic just gives it a more garlicky flavor, so I just used granulated because I didn't have fresh on hand. Then the Emeril's Original Essence Seasoning. It's like the best seasoning I've ever had. It's so good. I use it on everything. You should try it. Now we're going to add some black pepper. Again, you can use coarse ground black pepper, whatever you choose, as long as you put some black pepper in it because pepper is flavor. Come on. Now we're gonna cook until the chicken is no longer pink. Nobody needs salmonella, and I'm not trying to die. So make sure this part, I like to just cook it like that so it can at least get some flavors incorporated with the peppers and onions, and it's not just bland, because if you don't let the flavors incorporate together, it'll just taste like nothing, and that's the honest to God truth. Now we're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour. I know you're thinking this is weird, but when you have butter and flour together, it makes a roux. And that makes whatever you're making thicker. So since we're going to be adding liquid, we want it to be nice and thick. We don't want a runny chili. That's gross, and that's not even chili. That would be like some kind of weird soup. So make sure you add the flour. Don't skip that step. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of chicken base. And then 3 cups of hot water. Make sure it's hot because if not, it'll take a while to get back up to temp for our next step. Hey boo. You're gonna whisk that up continuously. Make sure you whisk it till you feel that it's smooth. Now we're gonna add 2 4.5 ounce cans of diced green chilies. You can use the fire ones, medium, mild, whatever spicy level you're okay with. And then we're gonna add our fire roasted corn. You can use cream corn, regular kernel corn, whatever you like. You can even put corn on the cob. Darren, why would you do that?
It's part of the video. You can edit it out. All I did was mix it.
But you put a buffalo chicken wing in this. Why would you do that?
You gonna record me saying that?
That's my husband.
That's just for my other got flavor now.
Clearly I was a little annoyed, but he's very amusing and I love him so much. Then we're going to boil on the side 1 can of the cannellini beans. The liquid that comes in the can, just boil it in that. You don't have to add water or anything. And then we're going to, once the beans come to a boil, we're going to mash it up with a whisk. You can mash it with whatever you want. I feel like the whisk is easier. We're already using it. Why dirty up dishes? Because who's going to clean them, right? So once it's all mashed up, and make sure it's like a smooth bean paste. I know that sounds really weird, but trust me, it really gives the chili another level of flavor, and then it also adds texture. Then we're going to add it to our chili pot and whisk away. Then we're going to add one more can of the cannellini beans. This is just for presentation pretty much. Who doesn't want beans in their chili? If you don't like beans, you don't have to add them at all. But I love beans, so beans are good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. Now we're going to simmer for about 20 minutes. Make sure you cover it as well. If you don't want to cover it, you don't have to. Do whatever you want. You do you, boo. But I do cover my food while it's cooking just because it gets hot faster and it keeps all that goodness in. I don't like cleaning the stove after like that because the stuff pops everywhere. Now in this step, we're going to season. Again, taste it. If you don't like it, season it. A little pinch. A little pinch of this, a little pinch of that. And you got your seasoning going. I added everything all over again except the garlic powder. Now we're going to be moving on to our cornbread. So first we're going to add a half a cup of flour. Then we're going to add a half a cup of cornmeal. Make sure you get all of it. Then we're going to add 1/3 cup of sugar. I wouldn't use brown sugar just because it'll make it more sweet, but whatever you like is fine. I also put butter and honey on top, so I don't want too much sugar. Then a half teaspoon of salt, 1 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. This is our leavening agent. It's going to help our cornbread to rise nicely. Then we're going to do the one-handed egg crack because I'm a boss. Just kidding. I do that all the time out of habit. Not trying to show off or anything, believe me. Then we're going to do a half a cup of milk. You can use fat-free, half and half. Just don't use straight heavy cream because then it'll be too thick. Then we're going to do 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons of oil. You can use whatever oil you like. I like olive oil for cornbread, but that's my personal preference. Then we're going to whisk till it's smooth. You want to whisk until you don't see any more flour or anything that's not incorporated into your batter. Get it nice and smooth so we can bake this bad boy. Now at this point you can add jalapenos, you can add cheese and make a jalapeno cheesy cornbread. But this time I want to do like a nice sweet cornbread. And like I said, I put butter and honey on top of my cornbread. Now after you spray your pans, we're going to pour the batter into our muffin pans. I try to keep them even so everybody can have the same size cornbread because God forbid if one of the kids have a bigger cornbread than the other, then it'll be a fight. And we're going to bake this at 325 for about 11 minutes. Now this is your finished product of your chili. See how our sauce thickened up? And that's literally just from cooking it for those 20 minutes and all the flour and everything came together. And then I also made a pot of rice on the side. You don't have to make rice. You do you, boo. Fluffy rice. And that's our finished product. I topped it with some sour cream, limes, and avocado. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed mixing in the kitchen and tune in next time for our next episode. Thanks.